Hello, it's Crafty Rhea. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to do a little something different today, something I've never really done before, but it does recycle and it is making a card. So let's go ahead and get started. I have this wallet that I've used for years. I got it from Wish several years ago, and I just thought it was really cool because of this zebra. I really like zebras, and this guy is really cool. But the other day that I noticed that it was breaking. It was falling apart here. So I ordered a new wallet from Amazon. Plain purple wallet, nothing exciting. And I went this morning to throw this away, but then I thought, you know, that is really cool. I hate to throw away that great design. It would make a great birthday card. There happens to be two zebras. So I'm going to try cutting this apart and see what I can come up with to make a couple of cards, maybe a birthday card or something like that. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to try using my good scissors and just cutting it as close to the stitching there as I can. It's already started for me here. I wonder if it might be better to use my craft knife. So let me try that and see if it'll cut through. Might be easier than the scissor. Yeah, the craft knife I think is working. Yep. So I'm going to go all the way around the edge carefully with the craft knife. I'm going to go right up to that stitching. Okay, I have a hard time cutting this side with the craft knife, so I'll just trim it with the scissor. So then the rest of the wallet can be thrown away. I may cut out that little zipper and use it for another craft. I'm not sure. But meanwhile, I'll just set that aside. And I want to clean up the backing. It's got all this foam and stuff on it. I just want to get rid of it so I have a nice flat back. Okay, so we're left with this piece of vinyl that has the two zebras on it. I'm going to try to run this through my paper trimmer to see if I can make all four sides a clean cut. Hey, that works. That's pretty cool. There we go. We have two zebras on vinyl. I'm going to see if I can take some of this backing off just to make it a little thinner. Okay, that leaves it with a little bit of a felt backing, and I think that works pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and just clean these off since they've been part of my wallet for years. I'm going to use a little bit of cleaner on a paper towel and give these a wipe down. I have a little bit of Mrs. Meyer's all-purpose cleaner on a paper towel. Really not that dirty, or at least the paper towel's not that dirty. I'll just use a dry portion to dry it off. See how they look on one of my card bases. That's pretty good. I might trim this down a little bit off that side and off that top. It looks a little stained up in the corner, so I'll see if I can get that piece off. There we go. That looks really good. I don't think you could cut something like this with the kind of paper trimmer that slides, you know, with the little blade, but this style that I have works fine. So we have this little guy and we have this little guy. I have two card bases. They are the standard A2. They are 5.5 by 4.25. And these aren't exactly the same size, but that's okay. I went through my stash and I found some paper that I thought would go good with them. I think that kind of brings out some of the green in his hair. And the yellow I thought looked good with the glasses. And it just adds some bright color to it. I'm actually going to trim this down a little bit more because there's an imperfection in that top left corner. See if I can get that off there. You know, obviously this was part of a wallet and it got a lot of use over the past few years. Okay, that's much better. You could also fussy cut around it if you want. All right, I also went through my stash and I was looking for different embellishments. I found this Christmas ribbon and I thought this one here matched the colors pretty well. I thought that would look really cute. I'm going to cut a piece of this while I have it ready. And I was thinking these would look good as a birthday card. And I have this birthday ribbon. It just says birthday, birthday, birthday. And I thought it would look really cool with one of them since it has all the really good colors in it. I'll give that one a trim. I thought I'd use that one on the yellow. We'll start with this green one. And I'll trim down my mat to fit my card base. It's already trimmed to 4 inches. So I will trim it in the other direction down here. First, I'm going to take a little sliver off the top because the corner is bent. And then I'm going to trim this one at 5 1/4. which is not much. There we go. And that's how he will look on there. I don't need to add much behind him for dimension since he is on felt and he is pretty thick. He's about 1/8 of an inch thick. And I think that would add a lot of depth to the card anyway. I will put this down here. I think I will just put the adhesive on the back of the ribbon. Just to get an idea of my positioning. I'll add some extra adhesive for where I'm going to fold it over to the back. Just to help it hold down really good. I will adhere this part to the card next. Put an extra piece down the middle since the zebra itself is pretty heavy. And since this is felted on the back, I'm going to use this Aleene's tacky glue on it. It's a thicker white glue than the art glitter glue, and it, I think, will give me a little stronger hold than the tape. And I'm just going to put a bit on the edge, just run a bead down the edge, and it'll get right down into the fibers of that felt. And give it a nice, good, firm hold. I always store my tacky glue upside down since it is so thick. It makes it easier to get it out of the bottle when I need it, especially if it's not a full bottle. You can get the Aleene's tacky glue at Walmart, or you can get it at the Dollar Tree in a smaller bottle. I'm going to wiggle it around just a little to work that glue around. Make sure I have it nice and straight. And I'm going to use my bone folder and just burnish it down to make sure that that glue got nice and spread out and is in those fibers. And as you can see, it holds it down nice and straight. I would let it dry overnight before trying to mail it or anything like that. It's a little piece of felt sticking out the side. There we go. So I will set that one aside and we'll come back to it. Let's go ahead and do this one. I need to trim this down to 5 1/4. Again, I'm going to take just a tiny sliver off of one side and then go down to 5 1/4. Just so all 4 corners are clean. That's how that's going to look on there. I think that's going to be really cool with this birthday ribbon. I'll leave it like that. I will put adhesive again on the back of this ribbon. Try to center it where the words birthday don't get cut off. And there's a balloon in the front and on the other side. The front and the back. And again, I'll add a little more adhesive on the back to help hold down those pieces of ribbon. And then I will adhere this to the card base. I always like to put extra adhesive around the ribbon just to make sure that that part of the card holds itself down really good. Burnish that down good, make sure the ribbon got stuck down really good. And I'll do the same exact thing with this and the tacky glue. So if you're out and about in a thrift store, or if you have an old purse that has a really neat design on it, it doesn't have to be a picture, it could be any kind of like a floral design or a paisley or something like that. Give it a second look before throwing it away and see if you can make a card out of it. I had no idea how this was going to turn out when I had the idea in my head, and I think it came out really good. All right, so there we have two of them. I'll show you them real close. They lay completely flat. It came out really, really good. You can even use something like this for a cover of a journal or something like that. Okay, well, if you know me, you know I'm not going to stop here. We have to add some things to this. I think for him, I'll keep him a generic card. I won't put a sentiment on him. And I found this yellow flower in my stash, and I thought it went really good down there. And I'll put one of these gems in the middle and dress that up. And then this here, I have to make it say happy birthday. It can't just say birthday. So I went through my stash and I found these Simply Chic stamps by Provocraft. I've had them in my stash for years. I think they've lost all their sticky on the back. But this one here says happy. And if I had planned it out ahead of time, I would have left room to just stamp it right on there. But of course I didn't. So I have these stickers, and I thought this pink one would look good if I just stamp happy on it and then just put it here. So since the ink's going to take a few minutes to dry, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that first. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this little guy on that sticker. And since I can't find one of my acrylic blocks right now, I'm going to use this little clear box, and I hope it works. The stamp is not sticky enough by itself to stay put on there very good. So I'm just going to use my tape and run just a line of this clear adhesive there. And that way I can just stick this on it. I could use my stamp positioning tool that is like a Misty, but it's the Tim Holtz brand. But that's a big tool to pull out, and not everybody has that. So I can still see through this enough to see where I'm stamping. So what I will do is use my VersaFine ink, and I want to stamp this first so it does have time to dry. I don't want to stamp too much of this side of it because I don't want it to run onto that next sticker. I should say ink. I don't want to ink up too much of that other side. And then I will just make sure I'm in frame and just press that right down onto the sticker and try to make it centered. There we go. Oh, I did it upside down, but that doesn't matter. There we go. We just turn the sticker over. So then that says happy. I'm going to leave this alone and not touch it for a few minutes to let that ink completely dry. It does take a little while for that to dry. And I will set this aside and I will clean it off camera when I'm done. So that card will get put together in a few minutes. We'll go ahead and finish this card. I will put a little bit of tacky glue just down there so I can just stick this on, and then I will pick a flower, or I mean a gem to go in the center of the flower. I think that green looks pretty good unless I can find a light blue of that same size. I'm not sure. Actually, I think the green is going to work because it matches the background paper. Take a little bit more of this tacky glue. You can use any type of adhesive that you like. If you have glue dots or even the art glitter glue, I just happen to have this out and handy. And I will press that down. A little glue came out around the sides, but that's okay. It will dry clear. And that card is done. I'm going to move it up a little bit since the glue is still wet. There we go. And then we'll get back to this. Since this sticker is going to be half on and half off of that raised piece, I do want to cut a small piece of this foam tape just to go below it. Cut it in half. I kind of want to see where I want to put that sticker. I think that's going to be a good spot. I want to trim this down a little bit more so it doesn't show off the bottom. This tape just happens to be the same exact height as the zebra. And I think that's going to look really good there. I'm going to carefully pick it up. The letters are still wet. I can see it shining in the light. So I'm just going to set it on there, and when it's dry, I will come back and press it down. But I wanted to show you how that would look. It just says happy and birthday. So there's both of my cards that I made from a wallet that I was going to throw in the trash. I will set something heavy on top of this flower so it will dry nice and flat. Thank you everyone for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please click that subscribe button down below. Leave me a thumbs up if you like what you see, and leave me a comment. Let me know if you recycled anything similar to this wallet that I recycled today. And head on over to my Facebook group. We'd love to have you over there in our crafting community to share your work and to see what everybody is up to. The link is in the comments below. It's called Create with Crafty Rhea. Everybody take care, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye-bye. Until next time, go get crafting. Bye-bye.